Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. This is an impromptu live stream. It is Friday. I am feeling frisky after a very long week, and I thought that I would jump on here to spend a little time chatting with you guys about whatever it is that might be top of mind for you guys. I really honestly have nothing on the agenda. I am getting ready for Garage Con little by little. And so, again, just wanted to jump on here real quick and chop it up with you guys. So if there's things you guys want to talk about, let's dig into it. Wes says that I'm competing with Very Gary's auction tonight. I didn't even know Very Gary was doing an auction, brother. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Did not know that. I did see on, I think it was Instagram, he put up a photo of a 9.8 pre-screen that had just come in and the box was damaged, and fingers crossed that all of the books inside were undamaged. But I'm guessing maybe he's doing his video selling those books that just came in. So don't really know, to be honest with you, but it is definitely good to see you guys. So scrolling through the comments here, I see Wes in here. I see Tina, the OG Blue Wrench, is in here. A few other people going back and forth. Randy Resnake is in here. Pretty fly for a Filipino guy. Scrolling through the names, John's Comics with Kids. It is good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Super Honorable Nephew is in the house. Joker is here. My man Thomas is in the house. It's good to see you. Vanessa, greetings and salutations. I was bored here cleaning, so it came up at a good time. You are welcome. You, sir, are welcome. There you go. Berg family, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling through. Do I trust that new grading and slabbing company? David, you would have to be a little more specific, because I'm not quite sure which new grading company you are referring to. So throw it up. Let me know what you're talking about. Soul Ripper, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. So again, we are literally going to talk about whatever comes up in the chat. So if you have questions, things you want to discuss, throw it up in all caps, because it'll actually help me to be able to see it, and we will rip on whatever comes up. But David was asking a question here about trusting the new grading company, so I'm waiting to see whether he's going to post up which new grading company he might be referring to. Juggernaut is in here. How you doing, brother? L. Smith is in here. A couple of you guys. It's good to see you guys. What is this? It's bedtime, says Goosebang. Brother, it's Friday. You're supposed to get turned up on a Friday, not turned down. But I'm glad you at least swung by. We have Garage Con going down tomorrow between 8 and 1 o'clock. So I have been grading, organizing, sorting, cleaning off and on for the past couple of days. And excited to see how that's going to go. I really honestly don't know how it's going to go, but I've been pulling together all kinds of books across all grades. I've been trying to grade some things, clean up the garage, pull out t-shirts, pull out cleaning kits, etc., just trying to get stuff all set up. What is this? Steve, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my friend. He says, hey, Reggie, interview with the creator of Boom Studios. Like I said in my comment, which you guys talked about very little. Yeah, that's the thing. So Steve actually raises a really, really good point in the comment section, and also now, about what it was that we focused on. Ross Richie and I focused on in the 1 hour that we had together. You know, we came together in very much an organic way, right? I put up a couple of posts about Rom. He commented. We started going back and forth with, he's like quizzing me. I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we had a DM conversation. Then it became an email conversation. And then it was like, well, let's get together and talk about these old toys. And so it was very much an organic thing. And it was really, honestly, two fans coming together to basically swap stories about the history associated with comics. And as I indicated in that interview, this is one of the cool things about the hobby, is that there's all of these really wonderful tidbits of trivia that get passed orally from one person to another. And that's a cool aspect of the hobby. And so we didn't come together as the CEO and the founder of Boom to talk about Boom. We came together as like two nerds talking about comics. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you for a fact that there were so many things that I could have spoken to Ross about just because of who he is, what he's done, what he's trying to do, my interest in like Boom's titles. Like there's so many things we could have ripped on, but it was nice to take a step away from let's talk about what you do to let's talk about what you enjoy. And he definitely enjoys Micronauts and ROM. So that's what made it really cool. And as I pointed out to Steve in the comment section, Ross is a pretty accessible guy, and you will literally see him in Instagram everywhere. He's on the Twitter machines. He's appeared just this week, I want to say, on at least 2 other YouTube channels in which I think that they went through a lot of that who is Boom, what is Boom trying to do, rah rah boom kind of stuff. So we wanted to definitely not duplicate what was already being done, but to offer something up that was just really cool and really different. And I can tell you, immediately after that video went up, Ross sent me a message and he was like, let me know when you want to do it again. Because this is a guy, in my opinion, that embraces the benefits of social media. And so I have a feeling that he will come back on the channel at some point. And I have a feeling that the next conversation we have will be as robust as the last one, regardless of the topic. You know what I'm saying? So Steve, I definitely get where you were coming from, brother, but I wanted to give a little bit of context as to why we stayed away from that and why we did what we did. And I know you get it because we talk enough. I know that you get it. So scrolling through, Burke is like, sweet, no agenda time to talk about Power Rangers. Hasbro spec to follow up there. The thing is, man, I did so much research to be able to structure that interview the way that we did to get to where we got to. I mean, it took some work. You know, he had all of this knowledge in his head. I didn't. I had to go do the research and then like kind of lay it out. And then, you know, one of the cool things for me with interviews is that I lay out a plan, but regardless of the plan, I still need to be nimble enough to flex with whoever is responding to the questions that I'm asking, because they don't know my agenda. They just rip, you know? And so that's kind of what makes it fun for me. You know what I'm saying? So scrolling through some of my comments or the comments here, Thomas says, Friday night in your 30s, how early is too early? Scrolling down through some of the comments here, I saw that Donnie Cates and Ryan are going back for another signing. I am not completely surprised by that. I have a feeling that these guys signed a lot of books while they were down there at CGC, and they're doing so many wonderful things that it does not surprise me at all that they are about to head back. Especially with Donnie having his crossover book that he released out there on Image. I'm sure that a lot of those are going to flood down into CGC and stuff like that. So I'm not completely surprised by that. I have not read Bad Mother. You know, I've been reading a lot of AWA stuff, like at least sampling some of the stuff to see what I like and what resonates with me. I had not read Bad Mother. I have not read that one. And I saw it in the previews and I did not read it. I saw it in the comic shop when issue number 1 came out and did not read it. At some point, I will probably read it. But Super Honorable Nephew, if you haven't indeed read it, throw it up in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of it. Scrolling through, yeah, Rush, I saw that. I think someone else actually put that comment up in the comment section of the actual video about the number of comics and titles that Boom has actually optioned. And to be honest with you, I'm not completely surprised by that, right? Because Boom Studios is located in Los Angeles. They have relationships, I want to say, with 2 studios, 21st Century Fox and one other. And they have those relationships for movies and also for TV shows. 2 different relationships, one for movie, one for TV show. Not completely surprised. But the big thing to remember, of course, is that just because it's optioned doesn't necessarily mean that it will ever be made. But as you saw in that interview, one of the things that he talked about is that they do a lot of interviews, and they do interviews with people that have been part of the MCU that want to come to Boom to potentially direct something. So clearly there is some swirl going on there, but only time will tell if they're able to actually make some of this stuff happen. And Tina, thank you for that. You know, the interview stuff I think is fun, man. I really do enjoy the interviews. It takes a lot of work to do it, but then in the end, when you've successfully like engage someone in a conversation where they are able to fully express themselves, they can talk about their ideas, and we do it in an organized and cohesive manner. It's like a dance, you know, and when that happens, I think it's really cool, because interviews for me aren't necessarily about me. They're about that exchange of information, that expertise and perspective that the other person offers. That to me is the fun of it. And I've had people say to me, like when I had CGC on, why didn't you go after on this and this? And why didn't you drill down on that? Here's the thing is that, in my opinion, a true interview, in my opinion, is one that is unbiased and that allows someone to express their opinions and their perspective, and how they answer questions and what they say and what they don't say actually says a lot about them. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad, right? And so my thing isn't to like nail somebody to the wall or to catch them in something that they're saying, versus allowing them to answer the questions and then to respond. And then the viewer, the subscriber, has the ability to hear what the question was, how they responded, and judge for themselves. That is how I was trained to be a journalist, and that's essentially what I try to offer up. So scrolling down through the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Okay, yeah, there you go. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, brother? Got to do something different, man, so you stand out, you know? Otherwise, it's like the same conversation over and over on multiple channels. And definitely apologies to you guys because my children are still awake. And so this is one of the sacrifices we make when we go live, when the children are awake. One of the Boom's best franchises is Power Rangers. We did actually speak about the Power Rangers at the very, very end of the interview that we did, the 1 hour that was recorded. There was probably another 20 minutes or so before that. But yeah, he did mention that franchise right there. So they actually have a lot of relationships, I think, with folks. So scrolling down through some of the comments here. But what does it say? How about a trade Regie t-shirt for a pack of coffee from the islands? We'd have to talk about that. We'd have to talk about that. Scrolling down through, brother, there you go. And then, you know, that was what I was really interested in, was the depth of knowledge that this man had at his fingertips, which is a fantastic illustration of just how he is part of the comic book community. Despite the role that he might play professionally, he is a comic book fan and a nerd. And if you guys listen to the interview, one of the things that I said in that interview was about Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige, in my opinion, being a fan of the medium, that being of comics, and being able to bring those comics to life and on the big screen. That same comment in my head, I was thinking that is also Ross. And I had so many questions that I wanted to ask him about, you know, him and how he approaches social media, how he engages with the comic book community, how he records all of these videos on his Instagram, and how much of that spills over into the unique approach that Boom Studios actually takes with its creations. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that Boom is a reflection of him, and he is a reflection of the fact that he is so immersed in comics. And so what I was essentially doing to some degree or another was in that interview, setting up the next interview and what we plan to talk about. And now I've revealed my secrets to you guys. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Can you share your favorite books you're parting with GarageCon? So yeah, there is an interview that is actually, I'm sorry, not an interview. There is a video that is already up on the channel in which I give you a preview of the books that are going to be sold at GarageCon. I can tell you for a fact that none of my favorite books are in there. I'm literally not parting with anything that is my favorite. I am parting with books in many ways that I have multiple copies of, and that's one of the great things about the collection, is that there are multiple copies of everything. And so I'm able to part with books that I have multiple copies of and or just aren't my favorite. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing some of the books that are going to be available at GarageCon, if you visit regiecollects.com, the shop there are a lot of books there. And then if you take a look at the video that I released, I think it was yesterday or day before, I cannot remember. They all blur. There is a detailed video in which I show you several books, several stacks of books that are going to be made available at GarageCon. Scrolling through, seeing what you guys are talking about. How you doing? Sandoval, it's good to see you. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I'm back. 3-year-olds ran off with my Negan lifts. Oh my goodness. EGS. So, one of the things, David, that I'll point out to you, brother, is that I actually helped launch EGS. Before EGS actually came out, I was having backside conversations with the owner of EGS, Tony Trebetta, and I was giving him a lot of advice on, the types of services that he should offer, how he should position himself. Like, he was bouncing ideas off of me and was giving me an opportunity to give him feedback, which I thought was incredible. It was cool. I mean, at the time, I think I probably had, around maybe 5,000 subscribers. It might've been more like 3 or 4. Right. And so being given an opportunity to give feedback on a new grading company to me was a fantastic experience. And so when he was ready to launch, he actually came on the show here. And I actually announced to the comic book community that this was an option that was available to people. I sent him books. He graded my books. He sent my books back to me. And so we had this nice little back and forth over a period of time in which I was able to see the services that he was offering, seeing how he differentiated himself from the other grading companies, helping him to differentiate in many ways. And then since he has launched, he has continued to evolve his offerings by doing the customized labels, which I think are really incredible. And they make for a striking presentation when you show a book, right? When you have this customized label. But what I will tell you is that regardless of the grading company, they have their pros and cons. All grading companies, all of them have pros and cons. And so what I always tell people, if you watch one of the videos that I have out there, best grading company, right? The best comic book grading company, the best one is the one that you select for yourself. When you get that sheet of paper and you identify the grading companies that are out there and you identify the services that they offer and which of those services are most meaningful to you, whether it be cost, turnaround time, cleaning, pressing, signature, authentication, resale value. When you look at the metrics that are most important to you and you put them on that paper, you will land on something that actually makes sense. And when you do that, then that is the best grading company for you. And so there you go. Hopefully that helps answer the question just a little bit. Jorge says, with the $1.5 million heritage auction sale of Detective Comics number 27 officially, brother, officially solidifies comic. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So in my estimation, more than a year ago, I released a video that actually talked about comics as an alternative form of investment. I have always believed that comics are a form of investment. And I think that things like these record sales that have been happening of original art, the record sales that have been happening of books like Detective Comics issue number 27 continues to solidify the investment potential of comic books. These are forms of art. These are works of art and are better being recognized for the value that they bring. And I think that it is fantastic. I just wish I owned Detective Comics 27. But Jorge, it really is a good point. But I will tell you, I do believe that comics have been a true form of investment for quite some time. And this record breaking thing just makes me, again, extremely jealous that I didn't have one. Right. So scrolling through some of the comments here. asking a question. I'm a fan of Stupid Comics website. I don't know what that is, Harvey Abel. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. Los, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Scrolling through the comments, I think I jumped over something. So for those that are just popping in right now, I will tell you that this is a no agenda chat. We are literally talking about whatever it is that you guys put up in the comment section. And so far, we've already riffed a little bit on the record-breaking sale of Detective Comics issue number 27 for $1.5 million. We talked a little bit about EGS Comics, a third-party grading company that has been out there, I think, for a little over a year right now as a grading company. And I think that's pretty much it. That's been the bulk of what I think has actually come up. So I'm actually scrolling through the comments again to see if there's something that I have missed. Brother, my children are walking, talking forms of chaos. They really are. And they are literally on the other side of this wall. And that's part of the reason why it's so loud, because the outside is through this room right back here. So they are out there just having a good time doing what it is that that children do. So yes, it just demonstrates the continued growth of comics as an investment. It does, man. And I think that not only did Detective Comics 27 just recently sell for some stupid money, I think that Amazing Fantasy number 15 actually recently sold for a higher amount of money, actually maybe illustrating that Amazing Fantasy 15 is actually on the rebound, because that book had been on the decline to the tune of about 20 to 30%, depending upon where you looked. And it might be on the other side of that right now. And so that was honestly one of the reasons why I was having a really tough time finding a copy of Amazing Fantasy 15 to buy, because so many people had paid a healthy amount for those books, and then the market was declining and people did not want to sell those books and take a loss. And so and I've said this before, if people don't have to sell, they won't sell. And so that was the part of the reason why it was so hard to find Amazing Fantasy I was looking for about 2 months, and I honestly could not find a good deal for one. And I was not going to catch a brick and pay crazy amount of money. So scrolling back down through the comments here, you know what, Vanessa, I started reading it and I have not finished it. I literally just had it on this desk first thing this morning, and I put it in the bin because I started it and I needed to take the table out of here for Garage Con, so I needed to clean things up. So I will get back to it at some point, but I have not yet read it. And so, again, apologies for my young children screaming in the other room. Scrolling through. They are walking chaos, man. They have an investment, just got Batman Adventures number 12. Congrats on that. But they hold on one sec. Let me send a message real quick. I think my wife just got him. There we go. Because I heard them screaming, and then I heard her yell, and then the screaming stopped. You see how? Nope. You see how that works? Scrolling through the comments here. Scrolling, Jack. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate the encouragement for people to actually smash the like button. Scrolling through the comments here. The thing is, anybody that has children definitely gets it. And if you don't have kids, then you will get it as soon as you have kids. You'll be like, oh yeah, now I got it. The thing is, what do you do? Do you stifle that energy? Right. One of the greatest things that my father said to me, he said to me, never let anyone steal your children's joy. And over time, as I continued to kind of noodle that, what he was saying was never let anyone outside of the family stifle their joy, but also don't let anyone inside the family, including yourself, stifle their joy, because you only get to be a child once. And so one of the things, man, is just let them be children, you know, I mean, and yes, it gets chaotic and stuff like that. And you want to make sure that no one hurts themselves, but they literally will only have one opportunity to do what they're doing right now. And it's hard enough for children, right? Not being able to go out and play as much as they would have and go where all the places we were going before, and they have to wear masks. And it's a difficult time to be a person, much less a child. Not that they get it, but they get it. You know what I'm saying? So there you go, brother. Again, I've been fortunate that I've been able to learn vicariously through other people, whether it's my father-in-law or my father or my stepfather. You learn from people, which hopefully helps you not make like the mistakes that they made or the mistakes that they avoided that they saw other people make. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn from these people, man. So there you go. So scrolling through some of the comments here, and you got to remember, it's even louder for me because I have on headphones and have a microphone that picks that stuff up. So I'm scrolling through the comments here. DB in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling through again. If there's things you guys want to, if there's things you guys want to talk about, throw it up in all caps, and we will rip on it. So I talked to a friend of mine the other day, Chuck, and she just turned 50, right? So I said to her, she said something about old. And I said, are you old or are you older? Because those two things in my mind are very different, right? When you are old, you are old. But when you're older, you're like, hey, my age is this. How I feel and how I behave and how I view myself and how I engage. That's a whole nother ball game, right? I am older. I am not old. You know what I'm saying? And then as she worked her mind around it, she came back, she said, I'm vintage. And I was like, there you go. That is the right way to be. So scrolling through some of the comments here. What is this? Doug says, my son is 15 now. We connect through baseball, Mandalorian, and watching Red. That's what's up. The thing is, man, I'm hopeful that, I think that there will come a time, at least this is what I've heard from other parents, that there comes a time when your children don't necessarily see you as being cool. Like right now, my kids think that dad is the greatest, and at some point, my belief is that may change, but then there'll be the other side of it when they actually understand who you are as a person. And then later on in life, they start to appreciate you for everything that you did and everything that you sacrificed for them. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm looking forward to all phases of that, maybe not the middle phase where they like hate you and that kind of stuff, but that is, if you can get through to the other side, to the other side of them tearing up your cars and all that kind of stuff. I think that there's a lot of good stuff that actually happens on that side. So scrolling back through the comments here again, seeing what you guys might be talking about. What is this? Why does it seem Spawn comics are very popular? What I would say is that I would take the seam out of it, and I would say that Spawn comics are very popular. And I think that they're popular for a few reasons. I think they're popular because Todd McFarlane is an incredibly charismatic creator. Who did something really fantastic and continues to do something really fantastic. I think that the fans of Todd McFarlane absolutely love him as a person, love him as a creator, love him as a business person. And people also just enjoy the Spawn character. I like Spawn because his last name is Simmons, right? But outside of that, I'm not a Spawn guy. But there are people, man, that absolutely love Spawn. And so there is that part of it. There's a lot of speculation, I do believe, around Spawn because of the gunslinger. A lot of excitement around that particular character. A lot of excitement and speculation around the potential movie that is actually going to be made at some point featuring Spawn. And this is the one that Todd McFarlane actually wants to direct himself. And so I think that there are lots of reasons why Spawn is actually a popular comic and does pretty well. I mean, it's one of the longest, creator-owned titles that is out there. He's got the toy line that he's been doing, all of these Kickstart programs and projects and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of reasons why that's actually, why that's the case. There you go. Old or short, but not old. There you go. Do not get old, man. Yeah, we actually talked about that. We talked about that on the Comics Today show on Wednesday. Basically, what is going to happen for those that don't know, Wonder Woman 1984 or 5, I can never remember, is actually going to be released simultaneously on Christmas Day in theaters and also on HBO Max. So I am saving my 7-day free subscription to HBO Max for like Christmas Day. I'm gonna sign up and I'm gonna just binge watch as much stuff as I can binge watch and check out Wonder Woman 1984 or 5, whatever it is. But yeah, if you guys want all the details on that, if you watch the Comics Today show from this last Wednesday, I spent a healthy amount of time going through a lot of information and data around the Wonder Woman show. Planet, how you doing? Good to see you. Are you a comic shop? Planet Arizona Comics? I mean, it sounds like a comic shop, but you never know. So I want to ask that question. Todd Father indeed. Todd Father indeed. Again, this is a no agenda chat. So if there are things you guys want to talk about, just throw it up in all caps because it will actually help me to be able to see it. It is just me. It is literally just me, brother. What's funny is I was talking to the wife and I said something to her. And she commented back and I left the room and I was in the other room and I was like, wait a minute. I went back and I said, babe, I was like, I just want to say thank you that you actually remembered something that I told you about comics. And she's like, yeah, you know, there's some stuff I remember like AF-15. And she said Hulk 181. And I said, you better stop talking dirty. So no, I am literally the only person in my household because there's only 4 of us, right? 2 of us are under the age of 5 and 2 of us are older than the age of 5, but my wife's not into it. My kids do recognize several comic book characters, which I really enjoy because they recognize multiple characters like Gambit and Wolverine, of course, Spider-Man, Venom, Superman. There's a handful of both DC and Batman, DC and Marvel characters that they recognize. And then they also think it's really cool that Dad is on a comic. So there you go. Scrolling through the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling, see what else. There you go. Todd Father is the man. People love that guy, man. There are a lot of folks out there that really, really love Todd McFarlane. There you go. Right there. Cool to meet in person. The guy recognizes, I think, that without the fans, there is no Todd McFarlane. And as I say that, I am literally picturing in my head an interview that he did sitting in a chair. There were like maybe purple chairs or something like that. And he literally made that same point that without the fans, there is no Todd McFarlane. And so I think that he is one of those people that does not lose sight of the fact that his success is due to the masses and that he does not think that he's above the masses. But he recognizes the role, the symbiotic relationship that exists between the two. And I think that he has some natural motivations and talents that resonate with people. So definitely a cool guy, man. Definitely a cool guy. So scrolling through some of the comments here again, just trying to see. There you go. DB says Spawn drew my interest because of the artwork. Can't wait to get my Spawn. There you go, man. I think people gave Todd a ton of money. And I talked about this a few live shows ago. I can't remember, or pre-record. I can't recall, but we actually talked about the amount of money raised with Kickstart. There's like $22 million that has been generated for comics in Kickstart, not including comic related toys, but a ton of money coming through Kickstart. And I do believe that Todd McFarlane has been the recipient of a lot of that money as it relates to toys, to the toy side, not necessarily the comics. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, there was a comment there about Todd McFarlane and his collection, something about a baseball or something like that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think he has a couple of those. He has a couple of those home run balls, if memory serves. Scrolling through the comments, yeah, man, that if you've got it, you go ahead and spend it, big spender. I was reading something in the other room about Celine Dion. She recently, I guess, filed a lawsuit against her manager. Her manager has booked her out through, I think it was 2026. And to the tune of $469 or $63 million. And this guy based upon his contract, is supposed to get like 1.5% up to 3% of the proceeds of all of this work that he generates. She tries to sue him because she doesn't think that he deserves the money. And I'm like, come on. You're going to clear $500 million and you can't give this guy a couple of million? Come on, pay the man. So if you have the money, you go out and buy Todd, you go out and buy Kevin McGuire's ball, and you go out and buy, Detective Comics 27, man. If you have it, do it. There we go. So no, I'm just the channel. Always thought it would be a cool name to, there you go. So there you go. You start out with the comic, with a YouTube channel, right? And a channel, and then you grow it into a comic shop. There you go. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You already have your name reserved. There you go. Well done. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Get it. There's things you guys want to talk about. Throw it up in all caps because it'll actually help me to be able to see it. Scrolling through the comments here. My older boy isn't into superheroes, more fantasy like Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, that's close. That's close. He's still in the nerd family, right? So, Bennett's in here. How you doing? Welcome. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Got to drop one of those G's right there, but it is definitely good to see you, Edward. Any other interviews lined up? So there were a couple of interview recommendations that recently came in that I need to process through and consider. But no major interviews on the horizon that I want to mention at the moment. But a lot of times what happens, man, is I have these epiphanies. And then I try to make some magic happen with those epiphanies. So no major ones lined up, and partly because the holidays are here, right? So that's like part of it. But yeah, nothing on the horizon. So, and nothing that I want to mention right now. So, scrolling through some of the comments, seeing what else you guys are, what was that comment? Hey, my man, Bobby, how you doing? Robert, it is good to see you. Brother, I recorded a video last night, and I did not send you a message because a lot of times, to be completely honest, and I think you'll get this, it takes a lot to reply back to everybody. I will let the video speak for itself when it comes out. So stay tuned for that. Absolutely appreciate it. I'm not going to say any more because I want you to watch the video when it comes out. All right. But thank you, brother. I absolutely appreciate it. And I just got it yesterday and then did the video last night. So that's why it was literally, it was at the PO box, but I did not pick it up until yesterday. So scrolling through some of the comments here again, if there's things you guys want to talk about, throw it up in all caps. Scrolling through the comments here. I think I'm actually caught up. Oh, I'm actually surprised by that. Okay, cool. So again, didn't really have much to talk about. I just wanted to kind of jump in here for a little bit and chat with you guys as I'm getting ready for GarageCon, which is actually going to happen tomorrow. It's going down tomorrow between 8 and 1 here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So if you are planning to attend, just make sure you send me an email and I will hook you up. We're going to have all kinds of stuff, some freebies, some $1 books, $2 books, $5 books. And up. So if you guys are interested in seeing what is available, if you check out the video that is on the channel right now, GarageCon preview, you can see a lot of the stuff that is going to be available. And then there is also stuff that is available on regiecollects.com. There was the really great interview that was done with Ross Richie, the founder and CEO of Boom Studios. It's about Micronauts and ROM. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do it. Make sure you have your favorite beverage and or snack handy because it is a long interview, but I did in the description of the video actually put into there jump links that will allow you to jump to various parts of the discussion in case you want to kind of skip through. I did that for you guys. All right. What do I have? Oh, so as a reminder, this week, Go Collect giveaway book right here. Nellie the Nurse, issue number 10. This is a timely comic book from 1947. So this is this week's book. So all you have to do is to check out the videos that have come out from the channel over the course of the week. And one of those videos is a phrase that you need to enter into the giveaway. And the thing is open from basically now. Well, it's been open all week and it closes on Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So if you guys have not checked it out, please do. So let me see what you guys are talking about. So there's a comment. Let me read this one. Wait a minute. So have I heard about the new comic from Kyle Higgins called Radiant Black? I have not. Who is it on? Which imprint or publisher is it on? Because I have not heard about that one. Radiant Black. I have not heard that. Take a note here. And it's Kyle. Tell me who that is. Vernon. Let me know who that is. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Scrolling through. Yeah, Matthew, young Matthew in the house. I'll see you tomorrow, brother. You and your mom. Definitely looking forward to checking you guys out. I'll give you an elbow bump when I see you. All right, cool. So we are going to wrap this thing up. It looks like the chat's kind of slowing down. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. And again, this was just a little bit of an impromptu thing where I wanted to come on here for a few minutes and chop it up with you guys. If you are not busy, I'm going to jump on Discord for a couple of minutes, and I may post up a question or two because I have something that is happening next week, and I might need a little bit of insight from you guys. So if you are not busy, head over to Discord. I'm going to be on there for a few minutes. I'm probably going to post something to the general section of Discord to make it easy for folks to find it. I'm actually going to put up a link here real quick so that you guys can easily find this thing if you haven't yet joined Discord. But again, if you guys have a couple of minutes, swing by, and I'm going to be headed that way in a hot moment. All right. With that said, I want to thank you guys again for hanging out with me. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. If you're feeling frisky, check me out on Discord and also on regiecollects.com. Take care.